Hi sewing friends, welcome to day 128 of 365 sewing makes that I am showing you. Maybe I'll get that far. I don't know. It's a lot, but your ongoing support really helps me, keeps me going. So these videos, I try to make them short. I try to give you some tips on sewing. We do a pattern review, we do fabric review, and we talk a little gratitude. I'll show you today's make because it's kind of fun, and then we'll talk about it. So this is kind of a wild t-shirt. It probably says it backwards, but it says love on it. This is my very first attempt at appliquing, and it was easy peasy. And I got the idea off of a YouTube video, and I will try to link that in the description box. Sewing, easy. Technology, hard. So I try. Oh, I try so hard. Let me show you again. So a couple of days ago, you probably remember me showing you a hoodie that had this bright lime green lining in the hood. And this was the bit I had left over, and I thought, why don't I pair it with this wild hot pink? Let's make a nice loud hoodie. And I thought, well, it kind of looks like a baseball hoodie. It needs something. So that's why I put the applique on it. And I just used the very first pattern I ever sewed. You can go back and look at it 128 days ago. I'll link it at the end here. McCalls 7122. Very simple raglan sleeve. It's made for tunics. So it probably does flare out too much. I should have probably sewed it straighter. And then I just took a platter from my kitchen and made the curved hemline because I thought if I'm trying to make it look like a baseball shirt, it needs a curved hemline. So that's what I did. That is the beauty of sewing. You can be absolutely as creative as you can imagine. And you can sew hard things, like that cinnamon dress I showed you yesterday. Hard, so hard. Or you can sew simple things, like little t-shirts. I might make some of these for my grandsons. Today, in my Grateful thread, I want to say one more thing about this. If you don't have this pattern, get it. This is a great pattern. I have made dresses with it. I've made tunics with it. I've made leggings with it. This is a great beginner pattern. Really easy if you're learning to sew. And in my Grateful thread today, what I wanted to talk about is pins. I'm grateful for my pins. A couple of days ago, I told you about my pin holders, which are just these from a auto supply store for holding screws. It's got this is all a magnet. So it actually sticks on my ironing board. It sticks on my cutting table, is one of those plastic folding tables. I think I got it at Costco. Which actually has metal under the plastic. So when you set this down, it actually sticks to the table too. So it works good. But I talked about that the other day. What I want to talk about today is pins. All pins are not created equal. There are the plastic headed pins, which I thought all pins were the same. These are okay. What's good about them is they're a little bit longer than the other pins, but there's material they don't really like. What my favorite pins are these glass-headed pins. These little balls on them are glass. Do you have a pin in your mouth when you're sewing? I have a pin in my mouth all the time. Take it out, put it in my mouth, take it out, put it in the thing. These glass-headed pins, the two advantages of them is they are much sharper. They go through any material much easier, and the glass-headed pins make it so you can pin something and then iron on top of it, and the glass heads don't melt like the plastic ones do. Let's just see if I have any flat plastic ones in here. No, I don't. But I do have some plastic ones I have melted. And then I also have these little clips. I got these little clips for Christmas from my daughter because she's a sweetie. And I love these clips. They are very great to use instead of pins. I find them especially good if I'm trying something on and I want to pin it somewhere a little bit. It doesn't sticky on the way out, so they're good for that. And I also want to say that pinning is our friend. That if the material is slippy, if the material is fine, if the material is I don't know, pinning it is good. It actually speeds you up because you can things don't move around and you only have to sew at one time. I used to always like pin crosswise to what I was sewing, and if you pin crosswise you can actually sew over top of the pins. It doesn't, I've never ever one time hit a pin. It just kind of hits it and slides it out of the way, and that is good in some situations, but I used to do that all the time. What I do now is I pin it in the direction going into the machine, and I grab those pins and I throw them in my handy dandy catcher. I have one right on my sewing machine, and I just throw them as I'm sewing. And the beauty of that is when I'm done sewing, the pins are all out. The way I did it the other way with them still in, then I had to stop and take them out before I went on to the next step. And you know me, I'm all about speed. So yes, pins are our friends. Use them. They use a lot of them because keeping the fabric where you want it actually speeds you up, because then you're not ripping things out. And yeah, if you have a situation, some kind of where you need to sew over top of the pin, as long as the pin is crossways, you can sew over it. And these magnetic things, very helpful. So I'm grateful for my pins, and I hope those tips helped you. And I hope they helped you with sewing. And I hope you are sewing, because sewing is so much fun. Talk to you tomorrow.